TikTok is an app that became deeply ingrained into everybody's culture, and ever since its release in 2016, it has been on a non-stop growth. That growth, of course, started having consequences in other fields of entertainment, like the music industry, and it completely changed the way companies market to people and made the trend machine go on speed mode. In this video, you will be seeing how TikTok became the giant it is today and why it became so important to the American people. But before that, let's understand TikTok a bit more for those who don't know, TikTok was released in September 2016. It is a popular social media app that allows users to create, watch, and share short videos shot on mobile devices or webcams. TikTok is owned by a Chinese startup company called ByteDance, and in 2017 they also bought their own competitor, which was called Musical.ly at that time, and they ported over 200 million accounts over to TikTok at that point, and from there the app launched like no other. TikTok's short format video lends itself to entertainment and comedy in general. However, it is exponentially being used for infotainment, and by that I mean that you have influencers in beauty, in fashion, in sports, in personal finance, in jokes, in comedy, in cooking, and so much more on TikTok. And while all of that content is being made, the content creators themselves are promoting themselves, promoting the channel, and also maybe promoted one or two items or maybe more throughout their channel. And ever since its launch, it has been beating records after records, with more than 4.7 billion downloads in 2024, for example. Today, it is valued to more than $66 billion. Many brands around the world also started posting their content on the platform to make more sales and promote themselves more, which is not a bad thing because it allowed a lot of people and businesses to start making a lot more profit. People can also pay to promote themselves, so that way they can go viral and that way they can start making a lot of money. Totally crazy, but it works. For example, the Chipotle restaurant chain ran a Hollywood burrito coupon giveaway campaign encouraging TikTok users to dress up for the holiday and post their images. The campaign itself scored 4 billion views. The NBA signed up for an account and has scored 21.7 million followers as of May 2024. Its aim is to enhance global awareness for the NBA, particularly among young people. So in general, TikTok is a great way to promote yourself or promote your brand out there to millions and even billions of people in the whole world. And nowadays, TikTok is also available in 150 markets in general, and it's also available in 50 different languages as well. I know I'm already saying TikTok a lot by this point, but bear with me, we'll get through it. However, its Chinese ownership has also made it controversial because of concerns that the Chinese government could use it for propaganda purposes and to collect data on users, specifically kids, in the US. But at the same time, I remember in 2019, TikTok went through a lawsuit with the US government and they had to pay off a lot of millions to get out of that lawsuit at that time. All of those little elements makes the full development of the app going slowly and slowly, but still it's getting developed, And if you're thinking why TikTok became so important in the American society, I will let you know with a few points. Point number 1, TikTok changed the way somebody can actually become famous. Now hear me out first. Nowadays, anybody can become famous overnight with the help of TikTok. It gives a voice to anybody that wants to speak up about something and gives a fair chance to everybody to make something out of themselves, which is not always good because people might give attention to the wrong thing sometimes. And compared to the old days, I know, I'm not that old, but I'm still saying it. It was only the elite of the elite that would be or become famous. Compared to nowadays, when you have a 70-year-old kid that goes viral because he farted on a little short video. I mean, there is a difference. But today, on the same arena, you will have one of the biggest superstar, movie star, for example, The Rock or something, in the same arena as a little 70-year-old kid that just went viral for farting on a video. Point number 2, and I already talked about it a little bit before, and I'm talking about the marketing. on TikTok. Almost every brand in the world has an account on the platform, and they promote all of their products on it, which has proven valuable to many people in the country. And everybody remembers those TikTok houses where there would be a lot of creators in the same house, and they would all be making content each other to make everybody grow at the same time while promoting themselves, promoting products, and promoting their lifestyle. That was crazy. But hey, it worked again. And it also made a lot of careers possible. And for example, the writer Colin Hoover, who invaded the world with a sexy blue alien, TikTok made it possible to discover the book and buy it, and when literally millions of people buy it, the trend has been set. Point number 3, it made niche content more mainstream. By that, I mean that most of the content that's out there is literally coming from a little niche of content creators. TikTok's algorithm and fast-paced scrolling experience means users don't have to go looking for content. It can be handed to them for their own discovery. This has forced communities around extremely specific interests and encouraged their growth. That also elevates the level of awareness people have towards pretty much everything. Like the Casco guys, boom! Is that a good thing or is it a bad thing? We'll be looking at it in a few years, and we'll see how this generation of TikTok will be in the future, you know? Point number 4. It accelerated every trend out there. Today, I feel like every trend lasts for a day. Then the next day, there's another trend. So basically, throughout the whole year, 360 days, there's 365 trends at least, which is crazy. With short videos of only a minute, the video actually has a short lifespan, and so less chances to capitalize from it on the long run. That is why almost every day, with the amount of creators out there, we almost get a trend every single day. It's to the point where it's the content creators that actually dictate how the app is gonna work, or which trend are gonna be trending at that day, or which trend are gonna have an impact on the culture, for example. And basically, TikTok is always about micro trending, but on the long run, meaning that you always have to be creating something, being creative, and always being innovative, for example. And that leads us to our point number 5. It completely disrupted the whole music industry. It used to be so hard getting into the music industry. You had to be someone, you had to sell a lot, you had to produce a lot, you had to know a lot of people so that you can actually get in those positions where you can start actually making that kind of money in the music industry. Not anymore. Nowadays, with a very clever video on TikTok, you can actually break through the door and say, hey, I'm the new artist in town. And people on TikTok usually tend to mix a new video with a concept or just somebody shaking their ass or something on the video. And if it looks good enough, boom, that sets a new trend. And now once you or him or her start watching the video and you actually like the music, you go and start looking for the music. And once you start looking for the music, you're making the artist's popularity grow a little bit more, meaning you're making them a little bit more money and fame as well. For example, Olivia Rodrigo and her music driver's license is the perfect example of it, because ever since she released that music, she went to the top very quick. Another artist that knew the same growth was Lil Nas X with Old Town Road. He started getting traction on TikTok first before becoming the hit it is today. Basically, with TikTok, with its more than 103 million users in the US in 2023, it became so much easier for everybody to break into the industry of music. And that gives a straight shot to everybody who actually wants to do something in the music industry. But breaking through the door is not everything. You still gotta have enough experience, talent, and influence at the same time so that you can stay in the game, you know? And all of that leads us to our last point, point number 6. Information and news. People tend to get their information from TikTok nowadays. Specifically the kids, they'd be watching the news, but just in a different form than on a national TV station. That means that people on TikTok are subject to all kinds of information, good or bad. Just like it can be good, just like it can be very bad, meaning it can be fake, it can be misleading you to think of something else or something that didn't even exist. And usually, what tends to happen is that the line between reality and fiction is very blurred, especially on TikTok. So sometimes you might even watch something and you would think it's totally the reality. For example, the time travelers, for example, the people who came from the future, and in the future, like in those future videos, there's like no one near them or something in the whole city, like they're by themselves in a city. Freaking crazy. And then following that, in late 2020, following pressure from the Trump administration, ByteDance agreed to create a new company, TikTok Global, in partnership with Oracle and Walmart as its minority owners and US partners. Oracle would own a 12.5% stake in the company and become its cloud provider in the US. In addition, Walmart tentatively agreed to buy a 7.5% stake in TikTok Global. It planned live-streamed shopping events hosted in the app. The remaining 80% would remain owned by ByteDance. That deal was never consumed. And then in April 2024, American lawmakers passed a legislation signed by President Biden that would ban TikTok in the US unless its parent company, ByteDance, sold it by that time in a year. And in response to the ban set to take off effect on January 19, 2025, ByteDance temporarily disabled service in the United States but restored it after President-elect Donald Trump vowed to extend the deadline when he took office on January 20, 2025. Now, TikTok has 75 days to find a buyer in the US to remain, or else everybody's gonna experience the same trauma they experienced on January 19, 2025, when everybody woke up and TikTok was dead. Today it is banned in India and Pakistan for inappropriate content, but it just got restored in countries like Indonesia, Bangladesh, and currently the US. Overall, the American people's support for the ban has declined in the latest years. And with all the points I've been telling you today, it is a deeply rooted part of our culture in the US. 1/3 of all of the adults actually use the platform, and almost every teenager uses the platform daily. And most of them uses it for almost 75 minutes every day. So all I gotta say, TikTok is here for the long run. I don't think it's gonna go anywhere anytime soon. So hopefully everybody hangs tight because TikTok is here to stay. And the only thing we can do is manage that craziness the best way we can. And hopefully, we hope for the best. On that note, that was your boy, The Good Chino. Glad you were here with me for this whole video. If you're still here, please leave a like and comment down below what you think of TikTok by commenting your best anecdote on TikTok. Let me know. And on that note, I will see you on the next one.